You take the weekend off. No workouts, no major obligations. You may even sleep in. And yet, Monday still feels worse. Heavier, slower, mentally dull. That's not bad luck. That is incomplete recovery. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most high performers over 40, they don't have a workload problem. They have a regulation problem. You cannot rest your way out of systemic stress if the stress chemistry never turned off in the first place. So let's break this down physiologically. When stress becomes chronic, your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, your HPA axis, begins to lose rhythm. Cortisol, which should follow a predictable daily pattern, becomes erratic. Under ideal conditions, cortisol spikes in the morning to help you wake up alert. It gradually declines throughout the day and reaches its lowest point at night to allow melatonin to rise and deep sleep to occur. But chronic stress changes that rhythm. Cortisol may spike at night, it may be blunted in the morning, and it may fluctuate unpredictably across the day. When that rhythm is dysregulated, 1 or 2 rest days does nothing to repair it. Because rhythm is not restored by absence of activity. It is restored by reestablishing signals. And now let's factor in inflammation. High performers over 40 are often running on unstable blood sugar, skip meals, they're undereating protein, taking excess caffeine, doing late night work, and have inconsistent sleep. Each of those things increases inflammatory signaling. Low-grade systemic inflammation alters insulin sensitivity. It impairs mitochondrial efficiency. It disrupts thyroid hormone conversion from T4 to T3. That means your cells are literally producing less usable energy. You can sit on the couch all weekend and still wake up on Monday underfueled at a cellular level, and that is what I call false recovery. You stop moving, but you didn't reset the system. And this is where identity comes in. If you're the kind of person who prides yourself on being productive even during downtime, if your idea of a rest day still includes emails, financial planning, doom scrolling, catching up on projects, or hard weekend workouts to make up for the week, you're not resting. You're maintaining sympathetic dominance in a different outfit. Your nervous system doesn't care that you're not in the office. It cares about stimulation. And most executives never fully downshift. So let me ask you something. If 2 full days off doesn't restore your energy, what does that tell you about the depth of your fatigue? It tells you that this isn't simple muscle soreness. It is system-wide dysregulation. And system-wide dysregulation requires system-wide repair. Let's go a little bit deeper. True recovery has 3 pillars when you're over 40. The first pillar is blood sugar stability. Your brain runs primarily on glucose. Your mitochondria require steady substrate. When blood sugar swings high and then crashes, cortisol rises to compensate. That cortisol rise further disrupts sleep and insulin sensitivity. It's a loop. When you undereat protein during the week and try and eat clean on the weekend, but still skip structured meals, you never stabilize the system. Recovery requires consistent amino acid availability, consistent caloric sufficiency, and stable glucose curves. Second factor, nervous system regulation. Recovery is parasympathetic activation, not inactivity. Parasympathetic tone improves vagal function. It lowers resting heart rate and increases your heart rate variability, or HRV. It enhances digestion and nutrient absorption, and it improves sleep depth. You don't get that by simply avoiding workouts. You get it through structured downregulation, intentional breath work with longer exhales, consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends, morning light exposure to anchor circadian rhythm, limiting artificial light at night. Over 40, circadian precision matters more, not less. Melatonin production declines with age. Growth hormone pulses decline. Testosterone and progesterone may decline. Thyroid conversion may slow under stress. That means the margin for error is shrinking. You cannot treat your physiology like you're 28, which brings us to the third pillar, appropriate stress dosing. Many executives fall into one of 2 traps. They either undertrain during the week due to work stress, and then they annihilate themselves in the weekend, or they push hard 5 days straight and assume 2 days off balances it out. It doesn't. Muscle damage recovers in 48 to 72 hours in most cases. Nervous system recovery can take much longer. Hormonal recovery may take even longer than that if sleep is impaired. So if your weekend workout is ego-driven, high volume, high intensity, and layered on top of systemic stress, you're compounding load, not relieving it. Resilience over 40 is built through intelligent stress dosing, not random intensity. And now let's answer that earlier question a little bit more directly. If 2 days off doesn't fix your fatigue, what does that mean? It means that your baseline has shifted. Your nervous system baseline is elevated. Your inflammatory baseline is elevated. Your metabolic baseline is unstable. And short-term rest does not rewire baseline physiology. You need structured recalibration. Here's a practical reset you can implement immediately. Go to bed and wake up at the same time for 7 straight days, including the weekend. No sleeping in by 3 hours. That alone can restore circadian rhythm amplitude. Eat 30 to 40 grams of protein and eat your first meal every day. Stabilize your morning glucose. Get outdoor light within 30 minutes of waking, even on weekends. Shift weekend workouts more toward restorative movements, mobility work, moderate resistance training, zone 2 conditioning, instead of maximal output. Limit your late night screen exposure. Track waking heart rate, and you will see patterns. If after 7 to 10 days of structured rhythm, your fatigue persists, that suggests deeper hormonal signaling issues or inflammatory load that requires structured intervention. Maybe thyroid conversion needs to be evaluated properly, or maybe fasting insulin is elevated despite normal glucose. Maybe hormonal or your cortisol rhythm needs to be assessed beyond a single blood draw. But here's what I want you to internalize. Rest days are not useless. They're just insufficient when the system itself is dysregulated. If you're the driven, disciplined, I'll just push through it type, the person who believes productivity equals worth, or the executive who feels uneasily doing nothing, your fatigue is not a reflection of weakness. It's a reflection of accumulated load exceeding recovery capacity. Time off isn't recovery. System repair is. If this hit home and you're ready to move beyond surface level rest towards structured physiological rebuild, check the link below. I got my free 30-day executive energy blueprint. If you need an advanced strategy, lab interpretation, nervous system recalibration, training design that builds resilience instead of draining it, apply for coaching, and we can build the system properly. Because over 40, you don't need more time off. You need a body that can actually recover. I'll see you all very soon. Take care.